the water, boil the water, make steam, steam rises to the top of the boiler. We pressurize that steam to about 250 psi. Okay. So once we have that steam at that 250 psi, now we have to take that steam and we have to superheat that steam, because that steam that we have, general steam, has moisture in it. We don't want moisture in our steam. We want it to be dry, because that's how you maximize the power of your cylinder. Once I've told my engineer, which is you today, that your train has enough steam power to operate, you're going to come over here. This is your brake for the locomotive. This is the brake for all the rolling stock. That's all the stuff that you're pulling behind you. That there, trigger handle over there, that's your reversing gear. So you would push it slightly forward to go forward, backward to go backward. Once you've done that, this here is your throttle. Okay. That throttle is what releases the superheated steam into the cylinders. Okay. And once you throttle this up, you're getting immediate dry steam power to the cylinders. Cylinders are connected to the drive rods. The drive rods are the big bars outside that are connected to the drive wheels, which are the big wheels. And they start to push back and forth. The drive rods start to turn on either side of the train, and then we start moving down the track. Before you would throttle this up, you'd pull this rope down one time to let people know that you're getting ready to move your train. Right? So now people know you mean business, and they're like, oh, they're moving. And then you repeat all those steps until you get up to full speed, busting out about 60 miles an hour. And once you're at full speed, you have to keep in the back of your mind, it takes you about 4.5 to 5 miles to stop.
Oh, for real?
Safely, about 4.5 to 5 miles to stop. Okay? Do you know what the three parts of fire are? What are the three things that make fire?
Coal.
Oil?
No, a fuel, some kind of fuel.
Fuel, gas?
Heat? Gas would be a fuel. So you have fuel, heat, and air. Right? Those three things. So I use coal. So a byproduct of coal is ash. It's not one of the three things. So I do get ash in my firebox. I don't want ash in my firebox because that cools the firebox down. Okay? So I have to keep the ash out of my firebox. So your question is, how do I do that? And the answer is, I have no idea. Okay. This door, I open that door. I take this tool. I put this on this key. There's 3 keys here. And on that side there's another door, so that one also has 3 keys, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So when I do that and I move this key, you'll see these panels right here. They're going to lift up and go back down.
Oh,
okay.
So that throws in the coal?
So that drops that ash into an ash pan below. Okay. And then when I get in the station and when I reload my tender, I dump that ash pan. Okay. Once I've done that with the ash pan, once I've dumped that ash out, I would turn the speed of the auger up to throw a lot more coal in there right now to get it back up to heat temperature and hold my PSI temperature for my engineer. And then we repeat that process like every 20 minutes. You're redoing that same thing over and over. So you want to feel this tool? Just get an idea of some of the things that we use every day.
Like, how much is the weight? Curious.
Maybe 20 pounds, 25 pounds. And we joke around, we're like, well, that's a 1-finger tool. So we have 2-finger tools, 3-finger tools, and then you start getting tools that are 1-handed and 2-handed. And
So what do you have like back here?
coal.
Oh, coal. So you
44,000 pounds of coal. And behind that coal, there's in the rounded part of the tender in the back, that's where the water is. And in my boiler at all times, I have anywhere between 8,000 and 10,000 gallons of water.
Do you know how many pounds it carries? The water?
4,000 pounds. Oh, well, I don't know however much 18,000 gallons of water weighs. I don't know that answer. A lot.
Is most of this original, or?
Yeah, most all this is original. Matter of fact, if you look at the brake handle on the rolling stock, take a look at the brake handle.
That's fine.
What do you see? One of these, I think it was this one. Maybe it wasn't the brake handle. I thought one of these said 9,000 on it. But yeah, usually they're
this is 9,000 right here.
yeah. So that would have been stamped when it was built.
Oh.
So that's an original brake handle piece right there. And that's why we had to put these grates up. Because this isn't part of the original train.
Oh.
We put preserve it, huh?
We put these up because people were stealing parts off of our train,
Oh,
so we have to lock it.
So they like cut it and they take it.
Yeah, or they try and take those bolts off and steal pieces, or they take the gauges or the valve handles, or so we had to lock it up.
When did you guys lock it up?
Like what?
Probably about 20 years ago.
Oh.
So when did these locomotives came to the phone?
All these locomotives that are here, with the exception of the one across the way, have been here for about 60 years. That one came here just 10 years ago when they took Big Boy out of here.
So there's like a track connected like to the.
It's not connected. So that track over there goes back about an extra 150 to 200 feet. So whenever we bring cars in here or take cars out, we have to lay temporary track over to the main line. So that's how we get stuff in and out.
Oh, so you guys don't like carry
Oh,
it
this is
then?
the Westinghouse air brake. Yeah. So there's two brakes, huh?
Yeah, the little one is for the locomotive and the tender only. The bigger one is for all the stuff that you connect to the car, to the train, to the locomotive.
Mind if I pull the horn?
It's a whistle.
Whistle?
That ugly yellow one over across the way, that has a horn.
Which one?
That yellow one over there,
Oh.
that has a horn.
Oh.
Steam locomotives have whistles.
How fast does it go?
This one would be right around 60 to 70 miles an hour, but I'm also pulling 200 cars.
Oh. So we'll go like 50?
That's beyond control.
No, still about 60 miles an hour. You know how much this train weighs, this locomotive and that tender just by itself?
Oh.
Just under 1 million pounds. So you're like, okay, yeah, that's cool, but what does that mean for me?
Do you know
That one across the way, the one that is like a current model locomotive, that yellow one right there, you know how much that one weighs? About 450,000 pounds. So half what this one weighs.
Oh.
Is it because the way it's built, like the material? Oh.
Yeah, that one doesn't have a boiler. And the
That's what
boiler walls in this thing are probably 3/4 inch to 1 inch thick. Solid metal. Steel.
Are these like important things you're gonna use, or is that like
So I refer to those as your under the hood gadgets. So when you start your car, your parents start your car, whatever, you always check under the hood. You do? Every time you start your car, you look under the hood to make sure everything's in order.
sometimes? But no.
Yeah, no, why would you? No, I mean, maybe there's people that do, but that's not really common. So these up here are those types of controls. You use them from time to time, but not very often. Most everything you need to operate the locomotive is right in your face. Right?
So is this like where the heater is? Or to like...
That's the firebox.
Oh.
2,500 degrees ish, give or take.
Uh-uh.
It's still warm enough that you would never want those doors open.
Are those the doors that close it?
How do you heat it then?
This pedal would have been run off of compressed air that we would have created. So when you push on this, these doors would open up. When you let it up, they go back closed. But you don't want to have your hands anywhere near it because these doors weigh about 75 to 100 pounds each door.
So
So
it can
just to
cut
give
your
you an idea of why it's so heavy, you can feel this door right here. This thing weighs probably 75 to 80 pounds, just this door. So it all adds up. So you wonder why it's so heavy? It's heavy. Just for lack of a better term, just because it's built to last and not built to break like a lot of things these days.
Is that like to track the heat or the boiler? That one?
What, this here?
Yeah.
Tells you the heat of the boiler water, and also there's another gauge over here that would tell you, because you need to heat the water and the water in the tank behind you before you put it in, because the boiler is always a certain temperature. I don't want to put like 80-degree water in my boiler. I need to heat that water usually about 150 degrees, and then I put that in the boiler. Keeps the boiler nice and hot.
So is the speedometer right there, or there's no speedometer?
No, we just kind of wet our finger and stick it out the window.
Oh.
No, but there's a speedometer. I don't really remember where it is. But they didn't really pay too much attention to that. They just kind of got it up to where they were going and let it roll.
It's pretty nice.
Not like today's world.
Mm-hmm.
Where basically,
everything's digital and modern.
well, I mean, basically all the in the train world today, all the different blocks you roll into or out of, they're all controlled by signals, right? So it's either red, yellow, green, and if it's red, you can't go in. If it's green, you can go in at a maximum speed. And if it's yellow, you can proceed at a maximum speed. So it's all controlled. Back then, you just go.
You just assume there's no one, right?
But you gotta, there wouldn't be. Normally there wouldn't be. If you're on your route, that route is that route and that route only. 100 years ago, that's just how it worked. Now, the thing about speed is that you have to pay attention and understand what your route is, right? For how fast you're going. Because if you're not paying attention, you just want to go fast. But next thing you know, you're coming around a turn, and it's a really tight turn, and you're going, 45, 50 miles an hour. You don't just push on the brake. It takes you, 5 miles to stop this thing. So if you're coming up on a curve and it's only like a half a mile away, there's no way you're going to stop in time to make that curve. So you have to know your route and where the turns are, where the hills are, where the downhills are, and the zigzags and everything. You have to know all that because you have to be going the right speed when you're in and around those areas.
Do you know who built it?
Probably Schenectady or Philadelphia. On the front of the locomotive, on the boiler in the front, where the smoke box is, which is way at the front, there's usually a little emblem up there. It's usually round, it could be square or rectangular, and it tells you who built it and what year on the boiler. Well, I guess on the smoke box. The very front of the train, up on the smoke box, there'll be a plate, either rectangular plate or a round plate. It'll tell you that.
Alright, thank you so much. Appreciate the tour.
Sure.
Thank you.
It's nice to meet you.
All right, David.
Very nice to meet you.
All right.
Take
All right.
Have a good night. Yeah.
You too. Bye. Gonna go check out the envelope. So he said that there's an envelope on there. See that right way down there? Did not go on it. I know. Did not go on it. Wanted to film it, so I didn't get on it. Maybe I tell you, man, I might tell you the truth why I didn't go on it. We're gonna check out the envelope. Should be an envelope. I want to see it. Should be an envelope. I won't see the envelope. I think you have to go way back to see it.